Donald Trump's administration is in a state of absolute chaos right now. His poll numbers have never been worse. Him and Mike Johnson are unable to negotiate an end to the shutdown. 1, because they're incapable, and 2, because Donald Trump doesn't even understand what's happening, and 3, because they know what's coming next. An end to the shutdown also would mean the beginning of more Epstein turmoil for Donald Trump. He is panicking like never before, and it was just made worse by a shock resignation exposing the crisis in the White House that we are going to get into. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into that shock resignation, I want to start with how things are going for Donald Trump over the past couple of days after No Kings. It's really not great, but it was broken down by someone who it brings me a lot of joy to hear mock Donald Trump, and that's Jamie Raskin right here.
And totally supportive of us getting the American government back in business again, reopening and supporting the healthcare of the American people and supporting the federal workforce. And, you know, I kicked off by saying that Speaker Johnson was talking about a Hate America rally, but that one had already taken place on January 6th, 2021, when Trump incited a mob of insurrectionists who violently assaulted our police officers, wounding and injuring more than 140 of them in order to overturn a presidential election. He lost by more than 7 million votes. That's what a Hate America rally looks like. This is what a Love America movement looks like. And that's why they've been trashing it for weeks now, because they know that millions of Americans are standing up against their authoritarianism.
I guess the question, Congressman, and particularly obviously for Democrats, is it a movement? Can you take the energy from these rallies and use it effectively moving forward?
Yeah, well, that's the question, but I think it was answered on Saturday. I mean, this is right now the largest the set of demonstrations that's ever occurred in American history. I don't know that there's ever been 7 million people who have assembled in unity against an administration that has been so determined to violate the civil rights and civil liberties of the people, usurp the powers of Congress, and trampled the Constitution, as well as shut down the U.S. government. So these are definitely movement conditions, and we have tremendous focus and unity within our party to hang tough for Medicaid for the American people, to hang tough for the monthly premium tax credits that are part of the Affordable Care Act. They want to throw millions of people off of health care, and the Democrats are saying, no way, we're not going to allow you to do that. We're going to reopen the government. We're going to reestablish the health care rights of the people. We want to rehire the federal workers who have been illegally sacked, including more than 4,000 at the end of last week from 8 different agencies, including the people who are the disease trackers at the Centers for Disease Control. And we want to see sworn in Adelita Grijalva as quickly as possible so we can get America moving forward again. And then, you know, the millions of people you saw on the streets as protesters on Saturday become organizers in 2026 for us to take back Congress, even against the extreme gerrymandering of the Republican Party and all their voter suppression tricks.
Let me ask you short term, because you brought up health care. And there are, I don't need to tell you, I'm guessing you hear from your constituents, a lot of nervous people out there about what is going to happen with their premiums. Are there any meaningful conversations going on behind the scenes that you think could help break the shutdown impasse?
Well, I don't know whether any took place over the weekend, but I will tell you this. I heard from tons of people out on the road and at the protests saying that their health care is going to be going up hundreds or thousands of dollars a month.
Things could not be going worse for this administration. They really couldn't. Donald Trump's approval rating is in the gutter. He cannot win a messaging battle about the shutdown. He just keeps lying and doing AI slop that everyone is kind of just uncomfortable with, and shows kind of the demented state of the Trump brain. But we see what's happening right now. Donald Trump is just trying to use this shutdown to continue to be the most corrupt president in history by slapping tariffs that allow for insider trading, having the media distracted enough to pardon George Santos and maybe Glenn Maxwell. And that is why Donald Trump is being hit with a shock resignation blowing up everything. And I want to get into it. GOP fundraiser trashes Trump's authoritarian regime in scathing resignation. A Republican fundraising strategist has revealed that he is leaving the party, saying he has finally had enough of its appeasement of Donald Trump. Miles Bruner, a former senior fundraising strategist for the Republican digital fundraising firm Campaign Solutions, wrote an essay for my colleagues at The Bulwark explaining why he is quitting the party and urged others to do the same to save the future of the country. Since Donald Trump descended that golden escalator in 2015, the Republican Party has devolved into a cult of personality that mirrors the worst authoritarian regimes of the last 100 years. He wrote, "For 10 years the GOP has waged war, an unrelenting war on our civic institutions, the separation of powers, the foundation of the rule of law, and the very nature of truth itself. While Trump and his supporters in Congress have been the driving force behind the right's descent into despotism, it would also not have been possible without the thousands of consultants, aides, and politicos working behind the scenes to fully execute their systemic dismantling of American democratic norms." Bruner said that much of his job at Campaign Solutions revolved around drafting fundraising emails designed to out MAGA the previous. It was routine to publish content that pushed election fraud conspiracies, stoked anti-immigrant sentiment, and sowed distrust in our institutions, he wrote. He described becoming disillusioned while working as a political coordinator for moderate California State Senator Janet Newton. Bruner said that he tried desperately to distance the state senator from Trump during the 2016 campaign, and hoped that Trump's very fine people response to the deadly far-right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia in 2017 would provide the perfect opportunity to break away. However, the state senator was reportedly unhappy with the statement her team released, describing Heather Heyer, the woman struck and killed by a white supremacist during a demonstration opposing the neo-Nazis, as an American hero after she received backlash from Trump's MAGA base. The staff stressed to the state senator that they had the person had been indeed killed by a terrorist for protesting Nazis in her city, but that didn't matter. The text was changed, and any further condemnations of Trump or alt-right activities occurring in our district would stop. Bruner wrote, "It was the first time I would have drawn the line and said I quit. But again, I stayed." Bruner said that throughout his time at the GOP, he rationalized, compartmentalized, and found excuses to stay tethered to the party despite his deep concern about Trump being the de facto leader of the GOP. His essay concludes with a plea for others to follow his lead, even if they fear how it might affect their careers. This is exactly the type of courage that we need in this moment. And I'm so glad that there is an independent media outlet like The Bulwark, maybe growing faster than any other, of course. Rivals like Widest Touch or Crooked. But this is a story that needs to be told. And I'm glad that The Bulwark is the space where that can be done. And I'm glad that I have been able to work with him. I'm telling some other stories on Sunday, and one of them was about Rand Paul, a Republican who has broken with Trump. Doing both that, breaking with Trump, and calling him out for committing war crimes, but also sucking up to him in the weirdest ways on the Sunday shows. I want you to take a look at what we're doing over at The Bulwark on Sundays in this clip right here. Republicans are cucks. At least Rand Paul is. Rand Paul is a cuck. He is submissive to Donald Trump. He likes to debase himself at his pleasure. And I know I always talk about the fact that the Sunday shows are an opportunity for Republicans to put on their favorite humiliation ritual for the dear leader. But what Rand Paul did today was one of the saddest things I've ever seen out of a United States senator. Like truly, truly embarrassing, especially because. Then he went on to criticize Donald Trump after saying, "Oh, dear leader, won't you give me some more?" But this is some truly bad stuff that I want to get into. Donald Trump made a wild, outlandish, as he always does, ridiculous true social post about Rand Paul earlier this week that he had to respond to. And his response again, and you will get secondhand embarrassment.
Did you get your reaction on the other side? He said, quote, "Whatever happened to Senator Rand Paul? He was never great, but he went really bad. I got him elected twice in the great Commonwealth of Kentucky, but he just never votes positively for the Republican Party. He's a nasty little guy." Why do you think President Trump is targeting you, Senator?
I think the problem is this, is that in Washington, what I represent, some people describe as unusual, and the president describes it as weird that I'm for less debt and balanced budgets. But, you know, when I come home to Kentucky or when I travel the United States, people come up to me and say, stick to your guns. You're the only voice up there, Republican or Democrat, who's still talking about the debt and still talking about balanced budgets. But I don't take it too seriously. Look, I've known the president for over a decade. I've played golf with him many times. I enjoy his company. I was one of his biggest defenders on impeachment and would do so again. I think he's one of the best presidents, if not the best presidents of my lifetime. So he gets mad at me sometimes.
You're still one of his best supporters. You love him. You're gonna do whatever it takes. His company is so great to be around. What is wrong with these people? Like, do they not feel embarrassment? Oh, like, dear leader Trump, he said that I was a shitbag and an idiot, but he's just joking around. Oh, he said that my wife was ugly. Yini, I don't know, Becca. She's working on it. She's getting the makeups done. It's fine. We love what President Trump says. Like, have you no shame? Do you not care? Like, how far are you willing to sell yourself out, Rand Paul? Like, but again, this is the humiliation ritual of the Sunday shows. But for Rand Paul to not just excuse it, but fully embrace it and then be like, do you know what it is? It's because I wasn't with him. I love being in his company. Saying I love being in his company. That is crazy. He is doing tricks on it. What are you talking about? Well, when Mr. Trump is tweeting about me, that's different. But when we get together, I just see that look in his eye. And he loves me. He says that I'm a good boy. Like, I truly don't understand how the party that claims that it's all about the masculinity and the macho-ness, and we're so fucking tough, is also just a bunch of cucks. Like, these guys aren't cool. We are going to continue to do that on this show. If you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.